PrintXtreme, makers of quality vinyl decals. Many decals available on their eBay store. If you cannot find what you need, send them a message and I'm sure they will be happy to help you and even make your decal custom. Visit their eBay store to see for yourself. Link in the description below. Hello and welcome to this episode of Microchips and part 2 of the Multimode 2, or should we say the 2 Multimode 2s. So part 1 we started work on the band modifications, we did the essential mods on it, and we basically got the radios into a working state with its original bands. So let's carry on with my plans for these radios, see if we can get them back to the former glory. So straight into it, we need to remove the original band switch. So we need to do some thinking of which wires we're pulling. Now we don't need the wires that connect to the two variable resistors for the VCO voltage as we're powering it from our board. So we just need to work out which are the trimmers and which are the bands. So those are the trimmer wires. We're only going to be using one of those in the end. So those go down to the 3 trimmers for the 3 bands that were in it originally. And what we've done is we've just connected one of the wires to negative, or should we say one of the trimmers to negative. That will enable that. Now these are our 3 bands and the common for the band. So we're just going to be running off the mid-band crystal on this. So there's our 3 bands with the common. So all we need to do is put a jump across that, and that will enable that. Else should we say enable the mid-band crystal, and there it is. Working quite nicely. Just testing the alphas and the -5 kc, which is working good. So again, we need to start snipping more wires. So once we've done one multimode, we know how to do the next one. So basically we can just pull all the wires, and I know it looks brutal, but there's the band switch out with all the unnecessary wires. Very nice. So a couple of wires I'd forgotten there, which are the VCO voltage, which we don't need anymore. And there's our band switch out and gone. So we're going to be fitting some replacement band switches in these, which is 5 position 4 pole, which should be enough for what we need. So there's our band switch wired up with the bands that the board provides. So that works quite nicely. Now we've actually used the high light. Now will be a light to denote UK40, which it does. And again, we need to do that on the second multimode. So basically I'm just going from one radio to the next, duplicating what I've done. So there's our offset for UK40, so we can switch that in via the band switch as well. All looking good. So there's our band switch in place. Everything should be connected up as we want it now. the 5 bands, the UK40 and the offset and the highlight. So we need to wire in our alpha switch and our -5 kc, which we're going to do on those 2 switches. Now unfortunately there's not a lot of room to get these switches out, so I've had to desolder the channel change to give us a little bit more access to the front, and that just gives us enough space to get the switches out. So CBPA has been bypassed there, and the NB and ANL can be bypassed as well, and we can remove those. So the NB just requires 2 points on the board to be shorted out, so we can remove that cable, and a blob across the back, across there. That sorts that out. And tidying up of the wires, and there's our switches out. So there's our -5 kc and alphas fitted. And the wiring tidied up inside the radio as best we can with these Cybernet chassis. So we've just got the second radio to do. Again, same drill, desolder the channel change. And there's our 2 radios side by side. That should be pretty much completed now. Now I've done all the alignment as well on them. Won't go through it on this video. I've got videos on alignment of these. But the power's good and the receive's good on them. You can see they kind of look the same, but you know, depending on what day it was in the factory, depends on how these look inside, whether the person was feeling neat when they were wiring them up. And there's our fronts that I've repaired. So I've actually taken the actual metalwork off the front, filled in any dings, resprayed the edges, and we'll put a nice decal on the front supplied by PrintXtreme. And there we have it, a pair of Multimode 2s that now look a lot better than what they did originally. So we've got 5 bands on them, super low to UK40, and we've got the switches, the +10 kc and the -5 kc. So all in all, I think these have turned out quite well. They certainly look a little bit better than what they did originally. So if you want any of these decals, don't forget to head over to PrintXtreme. They do sell them, and if you ask them nicely, they will customize them for you as well. It takes a little bit of patience to fit them, but preparation is the key. If you make sure that all the surfaces are flat and prepared correctly, they go on just nicely. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video on 2 Multimode 2s. Don't forget to like and subscribe, join the Facebook group, and we'll see you in the next video.